welcome everyone. Thank you for coming along, and welcome Rory to the Media Centre here at Delhi Golf Club. You've been here for a couple of days now, and your first trip to India. I wonder if you can just tell us your first impressions so far.
It's great to be here first and foremost. India is a country that I've wanted to travel to for a long time, and it's a very vibrant place. I haven't had a chance to see a lot of the country or a lot of the city, but the welcome has been incredible, and everyone that I've met has been wonderful and welcoming. So I really appreciate that. And I'm excited to play a golf tournament in a place that I've never played before. 18 odd years into a professional career, and to still be able to do things for the first time is something that excites me. I've watched this, not this tournament, obviously it's a new tournament, but I've watched tournaments on this golf course over the years on TV, and the course certainly lives up to its reputation. So excited to get out there and take it on this week, and excited to get going, and can't wait to play in front of a lot of Indian fans that'll hopefully be out there over the next few days.
Okay, excellent. We'll go straight to questions. Who wants to go first? We'll go to Joy. Whoever's closest to the mic. Okay,
Hi, Rory. You've seen the welcome. You'll see it a lot all the 4 days. Taking you back to the US, the fan views. Did it change you as a golfer as you come to another place?
I don't think it. No, I don't think so. I think obviously it's been 2 weeks, and I've been following the sort of the narrative coming out of the Ryder Cup just like everyone else, but unfortunately I think it takes away from what we should be focused on is what an incredible performance it was by the European team. Obviously as I'm playing my matches, I'm focused on trying to win my point. You see that the other guys are winning their matches or they're doing well, but you don't realize how well they're playing. So just over the last 2 weeks, being able to watch the highlights and just see, especially those first 2 days in the foursomes and the four balls, just how good the European team were. The Americans would hit it close, we would hit it closer. The Americans would hole a putt, we'd hole a putt on top of them, and it just happened every single time. And I think the unfortunate thing is it seems like people aren't remembering that, and they're remembering the week for the wrong reasons. So I'd like to shift the narrative a little bit and just focus on how good the European team were, and how proud I was to be a part of that team to win an away Ryder Cup.
Okay, we'll go to Swami.
Rory, first of all, congratulations again for the Masters, the Green Jacket, and the Ryder Cup. My 2 stock questions are over, in the sense, when is the next major, and when are you coming to India? So now, at the start of the year, it's always been the Desert Classic. Can the DP World India Championship become your end of the year kind of thing? It kind of fits in very nicely with your schedule.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I would say as time goes on, my schedule will get hopefully more international, because that's what I enjoy doing. And I've always said that, but I think over the last few years, I've enjoyed it even more. I've enjoyed the travel. I've enjoyed getting to play in front of people that I've never played in front of before. So, but it fits really nicely. Because there is I'll always go back and play the Irish Open in Wentworth in September, and then you sort of have. Especially in non-Ryder Cup years, you've got some choices to make. Where do you want to play? How much do you want to play? Do you want to take some time off? But this event certainly fits into a nice part of the year.
One small question: did you have any bucket list to do in India apart from play 4 days here? Did you have any small bits that you wanted to do in India? You've never been. Your man out there has been in India quite a long time. So, did you have any ideas?
I'd love to go and see a cricket game. I'd love to go watch a cricket match. I don't think there's anything. I know IPL isn't on until next month, maybe. What's that?
It's going to start a bit later.
Yeah, so I'd love to come back and do that. Or I mean, I'm a bit of a sicko. I love sitting down and watching test matches. So I'm going to be in Australia later this year, and the Ashes is going to be on. So that's something that I'm quite excited to. I don't think I'll be able to get to a game, but at least with the Ashes being on, and I'd love to be here while a test series is going on between India and England, or India and Australia, or whatever it is. So I'd love to do that. Obviously, the Taj Mahal is something that I would love to do. But I didn't have time this year. But hopefully, if I do come back in years to come, it'd be really nice to bring the family and to experience that together. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously a very, very big country. There's a lot to see. I mean, obviously, we're just around Delhi here, but you head south and you head to a lot of other wonderful places, and I hear down on the the sort of southwest coast is beautiful, and so there's so much to see. It's such a big country, but yeah, I guess my immediate thing I'm hoping for right now is, as you say, play a first good 2 days and at least be here for the weekend, and then hopefully enjoy the weekend after that.
Okay, we'll go to Joy next.
Rory, 2 questions from me. The first one is very easy. This golf course, what did you think of it? And we all know how you drive the ball. How much of an advantage? Where are you going to hit the driver? And is that the smartest play on this golf course?
I'd say the next time I'll hit my driver will be in Abu Dhabi. I don't think I'll hit a driver this week. It just doesn't, I just don't feel like the risk is worth the reward. I'd rather leave myself 2 or 3 clubs back and, hit a 7-iron into a par 4 instead of hitting a wedge where you bring, you just get it offline here and the ball's gone. You're hitting it into jungle and you're not going to be able to get it out, and it just you can rack up a very big number very quickly. So being strategic and being smart with your with your play off the tee especially is very important. Like I see why SSP's done so well around here. Whenever you just keep hitting it down the middle, hit it 260, 250, 260 every single time, and if you do that, then you can do very well around this golf course.
And the second question, Rory, is I know you're a voracious reader. You delve into all kinds of things, including culture and philosophy. Has Indian philosophy and some of the mythology ever figured? Because I've heard stories that you delved a bit into Bhagavad Gita before the Masters, some of the learnings from that. Is that true?
Yeah, there's very little I haven't tried to win the Masters. So if I heard they had good ideas on the moon, I'd probably read those too. But no, I think I guess I've gravitated more towards Stoicism and the ancient Greeks and that sort of stuff more so than anything else. But I think India has a wonderful culture. I think the people are unbelievably welcoming and hospitable and gentle, I guess would be and it's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to hopefully not, golf has become quite a big sport in this country, but hopefully I can help it become even bigger, which would be a great thing.
Okay, just over here on the left.
Rory, and I believe you said over here.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. That the Indian Open has not fitted into your schedule. I think you said this earlier this year, but you would very much like to play the DLF course because you've heard so much about it from the other European Tour players. So do you see it happening in sometime now that you've ticked off so many boxes over the last few months?
Yeah, it's hard because the Indian Open is it March or April time? March. It's just such a it's such a hard time of the year to make it work. We're over in the States playing the players or Bay Hill or getting ready for the Masters. And it's just hard to travel across all those time zones and then come back again and be in the I guess just in the right place physically and mentally to try to go into the first major of the year. So I'd love to play DLF. I think it's become this like infamous golf course around the world. Just the bunkering, and then that 17th hole seems to be just an absolute menace of a golf hole. So I'd love to get there and play at some point. I don't think I'll be able to make it happen this week. But again, if it was something where I come back next year to this event, or at least I'll know the golf course here. So it might give me a free day to go and play DLF on the Monday or the Tuesday.
Rory, very quickly, you obviously know this was designed by Peter Thomson. Did you see any right here to your left? Sorry, that's all right.
Yeah.
Did you see any sort of parallels with other Thomson courses you might have played? I think the Dukes at near the old course is a Thomson design.
He obviously hit it very straight. I know he won 5 Open Championships, but I don't know if I've played any other Peter Thomson golf courses. So yeah, this could be the first one.
Very well. One more segue. I didn't want to bring up the Ryder Cup, but your comments there about golf being a unique sport and how it should be held to a greater standard, higher standard, and that's all true. I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about? Do you think golf can grow in a place without sort of reflecting that place's inherent sporting culture, so to speak? I mean, it's become extremely arena style, almost contact sport like in America. In India, we're still sort of connected with old institutions. You will get thrown off for driving range sometimes for not wearing a collared t-shirt, but no, you're never going to have like a disrespectful gallery. But in Ulster, of course, it seems almost perfect. But do you think golf can grow and still retain like a universal character, as opposed to sort of taking on flavors of different places?
I think it can. I think it can definitely grow. But you also want to keep the traditions and the values that make golf golf. And I think it's you don't want your sport to be unwelcoming to newcomers. I absolutely get that. But you also don't want newcomers coming into the game and ruining centuries of traditions and values, or what this game represents or what it upholds as well. So I think there has to be a balance. But I certainly think that golf can grow, but it can grow in a way where the people that are coming into the game still respect and acknowledge that this is a little bit different than maybe other sports, and I think that's okay. I don't. I say it in America all the time. Golf doesn't need to be the NFL. It doesn't need to be these other sports. Golf is golf, and that's fine. And I think you can see, I think the one great thing about golf as well is it's more of a participation sport than other games or sports that are predominantly like say American football or basketball, or those are games, or those are sports that are mostly watched by people, where golf and in some ways cricket in this country, they're games that are played. So look, I would love more people to watch golf. That would be amazing, but I would be more interested in getting more people to play the game. And I think when people play the game, then they learn and they can acknowledge what golf is, what it represents, and the sort of etiquette and the values that you need to adhere to when you play the game. Thank you.
Okay, over here on the right.
Hi, Rory. Many congratulations on everything that you've achieved in your career. One of the greatest athletes of our generation, and like you said, 18 years as a professional. I just want to ask you, when you started off, the landscape of sport, or watching sport, was very different from what it is right now. Do you think gone are the days when people watched sport for the pure joy of it, just for the love of it, as opposed to now watching sport to have an opinion about the player, about the coach, about everything that happens. I specifically asked this because obviously after what happened in Ryder Cup and how volatile the situation got. So do you think the landscape of watching sport or enjoying watching sport has changed from pure sheer love of it to having an opinion right now?
Yeah, so I would say it's a great question. I would say that deep down at its core and you know, the essence of watching sport is it's the realist reality show that we have, right? You know, we don't know the outcome, we don't know what's going to happen, and that's amazing. There's very little content on TV nowadays that can actually do that. So live sport will always be what it is, and I think the majority of sports fans watch it because of that. But yes, there are, you know, you start to see it's a big business, and big business and money comes from having opinions on things, and you know, more eyeballs on things are ultimately a good thing if it can be harnessed the right way. But yeah, it's definitely changed, you know, and even, you know, whether it's, you know, people watch sport for the gambling aspect and they put money on games, or they, you know, that is something that especially in America, that's a changing landscape. But I think at its core, watching sport, whatever that is still very pure, and it's still pure competition, and I think that's an amazing thing. But yeah, as an athlete, and you know, knowing that you're going to get criticized for your performances, good or bad or whatever it is, I think at this point in time and in this modern world, that's, I wouldn't say it's a price to pay, but it's, yeah, it is what it is. And I think athletes nowadays have to do a better job of blocking out the noise. So, you know, not going on social media, trying not to read anything about yourself. Easier said than done, but I think that the more athletes in this day and age that they can do that, it's better. I think it's better for their performance. I think it's better for their mental health, and I think it's probably better for their longevity in their given sport as well.
Okay, we're going over here for the last question, please.
Hi, Rory. First of all, it's an honor to have you in India. It's amazing. It's actually like a dream come true. So, I just want to ask, you know, so McDowell described you as the absolute leader in the European Cup, in the European team's locker room, and we all know that in 2027 you turned down the opportunity of being the Players' Championship. But is there any possibility of you taking up the European team side of things in the captaincy role sometime?
Sometime, yes. Certainly not 2027. I hope I'm still playing at that point. But yeah, like I would love to be the European team captain at some point, but that will be beyond my playing days, or at least when my playing days are coming to an end and I'm not good enough to make the team, you know, or I make way for the new generations to come along. So hopefully that's not in 2027. Hopefully I'm still good enough to play and put points on the board for Europe. But yeah, absolutely. I would love to be a captain one day, and I feel very fortunate that I've had a front row seat at playing under some of the best captains in history in the Ryder Cup. Luke Donald. I think what Luke Donald has done the last two Ryder Cups is revolutionized the captaincy role, especially within Europe. And then I feel like Paul McGinley and Glen Eagles in 2014, he was a wonderful captain, and I learned a lot from him. And you know, there's been wonderful captains between that as well. All of them have been wonderful, but I think the time and the effort and the dedication that Luke Donald has put into the last 4 years, it's been absolutely amazing. He has 100% respect of the entire team and everyone that's worked for him and all been behind him. And you know, if I can be nearly as good as a captain as Luke Donald, I'll have done a good job. So you know, hopefully one day in the future, but you know, I'd say not until the mid 2030s. Hopefully, if I can keep playing well.
Okay, on that note, thank you everyone. Thank you, Rory. Good
Thank
luck
you.
this week.
Thank you.
To watch another DP World Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.